Hi everyone, welcome back to Cameron's Lab. Today I am joined by Kinjal Dave once again. So we just had her here on the podcast back in August for the virtual conference, kind of the link up, and now she's back again to provide you with even more insights and opportunities with a new program that she's the ambassador for called Mission ShakthiSAT. So Kinjal, thank you so much for coming back again. Would you mind explaining what it is and then also why it's so important for you to get involved?
Absolutely. So, yes, thank you so much for having me back again, Cameron. We need more ladies like you who inspire and empower and obviously act and inspire, rise by lifting others, I would say. So, thank you. Get out there and, change the world. Sky is not the limit. If you can see it, you can be it. So basically, Mission ShakthiSAT is a mission that is run by Space Kidz India. It's the vision and the brainchild of Dr. Srimati Kisan. Space Kidz India is an aerospace and defense organization. They're turning ideas and adventures into realities. They're actually the first global student design and student launch satellite collaboration project organization. They've together sort of over the years, I think 14 or 15 years, they've launched, payloads in space, balloon sats, suborbital payloads. What they do is they ignite passion in young children, young kids, school-going age, to explore space and provide them with a platform to do so in an easy, accessible, and affordable manner.
Mm.
And Mission ShakthiSat is an idea and a vision to empower secondary school slash high school girls around the world, sparking their interest, their curiosity in space exploration and science and tech. So it's about engaging around 12,000 girls across the world, 108 countries will be taking part. And I get the fortune and the blessing of being the UK ambassador for it. Dr. Miriam Saini is the advisor in the UK, and it is absolutely amazing. So she's created a link tree, and I've reached out to you via LinkedIn and lots of other young, passionate girls and boys, excited and empowered and inspired to use space outreach and space exploration to spark that curiosity. Um, it will be 108 girls. We're aiming for 108 girls. We'll be recruiting them, and we will be sort of inspiring them via STEM education and space exploration. So think about this. I mean, what if a younger you had the opportunity to build and launch a satellite to go into the lunar orbit, right? And it's completely free STEM education, 120 hours, which will be self-paced. But think about it. I mean, you have about 4 science lessons per week. So that works out to roughly, 6 weeks of science lessons. So that's like one term of science learning. And in some countries, the language and the program of delivery will also be available in their local language, the Spanish, French, and other languages. Yeah. So this is a completely inspirational opportunity, phenomenal opportunity. First of all, it's completely free. Second of all, you'll be networking with and building relationships and friendships and allyships for lifetime with who are just as curious and passionate as you in mentorship from people across the planet. And overall, we will have a UK-wide competition. So out of 108 girls, we will have a UK-wide competition where at the moment it's still a little bit high level, but Dr. Saini and I are thinking about, why not do a 1 minute video explanation on TikTok, as Gen Zs are very, on it, or on
Everybody's on there
YouTube.
now.
Choose a platform of your choice. Choose a platform for your choice and a 60-second video explaining a space concept or summarizing a space concept that you've learned. And you can use arts, you can use dance, you can use music, and we will be judging it. And one person will have a completely sponsored trip to India, to the ISRO, so the Indian Research and Space Organization facilities in Bangalore, and they will then have a boot camp sort of session for a couple of weeks to work and build and eventually launch their payload and the satellite system in space, in the lunar orbit.
Wow, that is amazing. Okay, so I've heard a lot of great things. I'm going to try to narrow in on a few of them so that we can.
Of course, of course.
So I think the first one that I absolutely love is that you have this opportunity for girls at a young age to really get, I guess, real hands-on experience because you don't really get that every day. I feel like when you're interested in something, especially as big as space, it's more like, you watch a movie, maybe you'll meet somebody, but you don't actually get that hands-on practical experience. So why would you say
Yeah.
that this is like so important for girls, especially at such a young age, to be able to get that hands-on experience? How will it set them apart?
There are two aspects to this question. First of all, we really need to be encouraging girls in STEM for things that should happen tomorrow. Things should happen to inspire the next generation to make sure that we're bridging the gap for the future. So I'm thinking about, missions to Mars. I'm thinking about deep exploration. We will be needing young girls who are young today, but they will be future leaders of tomorrow. They will be explorers of tomorrow, decision makers of tomorrow, ministers and policymakers and diplomats and CEOs, right? So that's the first thing that we need to selfishly, as a civilization, do to invest. But secondly, I think for the girls and also for the ecosystem, think about the parents and the friends and the family, right? I mean, think about the knowledge transfer and the knowledge sharing that you will get, the hands-on experience, like you said, that you will get. That transition from a lab or a classroom to boardroom and a lab-grown environment will be huge. You will get such a confidence booster by doing something that all of a sudden when you are writing your GCSEs or doing your interviews for internships or filling in those university forms, you will not be intimidated. You will be like, oh, I have all this experience of leadership, communication, working in a team, problem solving. Tick, 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 I can do this. I've programmed it.
I agree. That practical hands-on knowledge really makes all the difference. Like even for myself, when I was younger, I had the opportunity, this was all through mentorship. So people like yourself being able to actually reach out and give me opportunities. I had the chance to do like a genetic study. And through that hands-on experience, it really changed my life entirely. Programs like this are so important. So to anybody that's listening and thinking maybe I can join this, then absolutely you can. And I especially liked actually how you mentioned confidence booster because I think especially as like women and girls in STEM, if you don't have anybody telling you like, yes, you can do this, you can be in this room, this is like where you can be, then it's really hard to find that inner confidence. So what would you recommend to girls that are looking and thinking, oh, I shouldn't apply, I'm not quite ready yet, or I don't have any experience, or I don't feel prepared, I don't feel like I don't see myself in a place like that. How can you, or how would you inspire them to join?
Yes, exactly. So this is the very reason why a program like this basically was thought about, because girls still feel a bit intimidated, and culturally as well. In many other countries, culture plays a huge role, but girls do feel a lot more intimidated. Women feel the imposter syndrome. The only thing I would say is, look, I've been there, I've survived. Look at me, look at people like Kameron, and it took many astronauts and many failed missions for us to go on the moon. And due to that, now look at the Artemis. Look at the astronaut lineup for Artemis. We have men and women of color outdoing, or I wouldn't say outdoing, but actually there's a level playing field now. Cerebrally, everybody has the same opportunities. You are the future astronauts and you are the future leaders. I was there, I've been there, I've survived. If I can do it, so can you. It took a lot of failed missions for the Artemis to happen, and look at the astronaut lineup in the Artemis. So if I can do it, so can you.
That was so good. Thank you so much. I agree. It's like one of those, like I said it before at the conference, if you can see it, you can be it. So if even if in
Yeah,
yourself you feel like maybe I don't belong there, like imagine all the people that came before you that had that same thought. So you pushing through makes you the next big person in this industry. So it'd be really great if you to just kind of go for it. And especially if
absolutely.
you're really feeling lost, you can always reach out to somebody like Kinjal. I'm sure her inbox is always open if you want to send her a message to see if you have any extra
Anytime, anytime, anytime.
questions. Love that. Okay, so we talked about this briefly before. So you mentioned that the winner of this video competition that you're having actually gets to travel to India to go to the International Space
Correct.
Station there. That is so exciting. So what kind of things do they get to
Yeah.
do when they get there? Could you give us a little bit more detail?
So yes, so they will be actually staying in, a super facility all over there, and they'll be getting hands-on lab experiences. So you're talking about clean rooms in space. They like it's cleaner than people who are listening to this. I'm sure will know this, but if they don't, it's cleaner than like an operation room in your hospitals, basically.
Yeah.
Uh, it's looking at very, very high tech payload systems, very high tech stuff that will eventually go into space, taking photographs of or land into space, looking at sensors and actuators and things that will go and take samples of rocks on the moon or Mars or who knows, you will be meeting with space explorers and leaders around the world. Imagine 108 countries, girls and women. You are talking about ambassadors and diplomats and scientists and ministers and policymakers, all under one roof and making connections for life.
Wow, this sounds incredible. I'm a little bit sad that I'm not in the same group anymore. This is awesome. If I was a girl looking to get into this program, so you already mentioned about the confidence kind of pushing past that to apply. Would you mind giving a bit of insights into what kind of things you might be looking for the girls that are applying to this program? Like what would you be looking for in an ideal applicant?
In an ideal applicant, all I want passion and a little bit of sense of like courage and adventure.
Mm,
And I can satiate my curiosity using courage. That you know what, I can step out of my comfort zone because it's not scary; it's adventure.
mm,
Think about a roller coaster ride, right? That's all we're looking for. We're not looking for grades. We're not looking for fitness. We're not looking for like a very nice online presence. We're not looking for a certain background of your school. We're not looking for any of that. We're just looking for your curiosity, your passion, and that little bit of courage to break barriers and take that adventure.
I love that. And I feel like any girl that applies is already doing something courageous. So definitely put yourself out there.
Absolutely.
And it's so great. And I
Put
love how
yourself in,
accessible this is.
yeah.
Great.
Girls, if you're listening out there, please, please sign up. Just it takes 2 minutes to fill up the form. It's 120 hours of self-paced learning, okay? And there are modules that are completely like basically student friendly. And I am and Dr. Saini, we're both available. We will both be available for any, support that may be required, but I'm guessing it will not be required at all because the curriculum is so nicely structured and it's all self-paced. And you will have a lot of support, a lot of confidence boosting once you sign up. So if there are parents listening, families listening, girls your age listening, please, your daughters, your nieces, your friends, please reach out to them. Go to head teachers, go to all these organizations, STEM organizations that promote outreach, go to teaching spaces, go to your communities and encourage girls to participate.
Definitely. I love it. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see whoever gets to sign up. I'll be definitely keeping posted on this one. I want to see.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, I think I'll ask you a personal question for the next one to kind
Mm-hmm.
of get a little bit of inspiring. So,
Mm-hmm.
for yourself, so as a woman in the aerospace industry, because you've already, I remember you went to our Armada. I can say our now because I just graduated. So excited.
Oh yeah, nice. Congratulations.
So what was it like getting into aerospace engineering, and how would you say that that's really changed your own life? So being involved in this like amazing industry of looking at space, how has being involved in all of this really changed your own life?
My, it might sound really philosophical. My journey into space started when I was a very young girl. I saw the Columbia space disaster on TV, live on TV.
Wow.
And as a 8-year-old little girl in India, pre-Google, pre-Instagram, pre all of this, um, the the feeling of an Indian astronaut, an Indian female astronaut with long hair, who comes from a remote village. Forget going into NASA. She barely had the resources to go into an engineering college, but she made it. She did it. Her father and her mother were so encouraging.
Mm.
Millions of dollars of investment, really, really precious research, and 7 precious lives were lost.
Mm.
And that was a very saddening yet a very triggering thing. And that propelled my journey into space. And believe it or not, when I see Helen Sharman, go into space, when I see even women in my own company and in my own ecosystem do so well, I get so inspired. So I did not have something like this growing up. Um, and therefore, I want to be that voice to get as many girls on board it as possible. You don't have to be a pilot to fly the RAF. You don't have to be a quantum physicist to make a difference in NASA. You don't have to be an astronaut. Tim Peake, yes, absolutely. Helen Sharman, yes, absolutely. But you can be working as a data analyst, you can be a statistician, you can be a psychologist, you can be working in neurological patterns, you can be working in doing things like art. There is so much of scope for artists in space. There is so much of scope for lawyers in space.
Mm.
So you can, you can do anything to cultivate that passion, igniting that generous curiosity. I remember once, I mean, you have a pink mic there. I remember once we were, STEM knitters. I remember my dad got me one of those pink bows and said, "This is what girls wear when they do girly things." I remember asking him, "What are girly things?"
Mm.
And I am so blessed to have a father like that, because he is like my father is he's a black belt in karate, and
Wow.
a state level judo champion, a mechanical engineer, and he's working on like the best cloud computing software systems. He's worked on with IBM, big companies
Amazing.
at director level positions, big technocrat. And so when I asked him, "What are girly things?" he said, opening up a refrigerator with screwdrivers. And I remember, my mom used to teach me science whilst stitching, cooking. She has a degree in law, a degree in statistics, a degree in chemistry. She has more letters in her degrees than her name. And
Wow.
her name is Minakshi Pravankant Ketan Bhaidave. So just imagine.
Wow.
Okay. So,
Amazing.
so, so yeah. So I was very blessed to have an environment where mom and dad were so encouraging, because they were STEM knitters themselves. Um, if only I had an ecosystem where, opportunities like this were so readily available.
Mm.
And I guess what I want to say is, let's cultivate a future pipeline, a generation that recognizes that, you know what, you can put a pink lipstick, put a pink mic, put a pink bow, and code for future satellites. And, look and work on sensor systems for payloads that go to lunar orbits,
Mm.
or work as a quantum physicist, or work as a lawyer. So let's empower, and let's do that together.
Absolutely. I think I especially love what you said about like you can have the things that you love, like it could be pink or anything else that you would consider girly. Because I feel like what we get told so often is that you have to change yourself, you have to change your interests to match the status quo or what people would have expected from you, which is what I love about programs like this Mission ShakthiSAT that you have, because you're encouraging girls to just be themselves, especially when I asked you what is your like ideal candidate, you're like, we just want you to come as you are, which is I think it's just so special. It's very rare. And so I really love that, especially. So I'm looking forward to the girls that do join the program getting to really explore this side of themselves without having to change anything, which I think is going to be really special for them as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about, Mayim Bialik, your Amy Farrah Fowler, right? I mean, she is a neuroscientist, but she's also an actress, right? Another actress. I mean, she played Teddy on Good Luck Charlie, the Disney actress. She's now a CEO. She's bought a space company looking at satellite payloads, which is absolutely amazing. Hedy Lamarr, the Lamar frequency is named after her, that technology that we use in Bluetooth. So she was also a space scientist, but also an actress, right? A gracious dancer and a brilliant actress. Yourself, right? Cameron Young.
Right.
She is near, but she also has now, podcast creator, content creator. I love to dance. And a big shout out to Dr. Kassan as well. When you post this, please tag her as well. I think she is
Okay.
amazing. She has been on Shark Tank India, which is like a Dragon's Den version. She's been on Indian Idol, which is like an American Idol version. She is, yeah, she's basically someone like you want to like be like her when you grow up, basically. So a big shout out to Dr. Kassan. Keep going. We're all in this together.
Amazing. I've been loving our conversation so much. So just to wrap things up for the girls listening and to show them how they can get involved, would you mind just sharing a quick recap of things like how they can apply and where they can learn a bit more about the program?
Yes. So there is a link tree which looks at all the files. There's a Google Drive that looks at all the files. Dr. Sani's done a brilliant job. A Google form takes 2 minutes to fill in. It doesn't take long. I have shared that with many people in my network and with Cameron as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to post it one more time on my LinkedIn. So reach out directly to me, email me if you can't get hold of the form. My email address is very, well, I mean, I'm a huge James Bond fan. So it's my name, first name, last name, 007 at yahoo.com, Kinjal Dave 007 at yahoo.com, KinjaldAve 007 at yahoo.com. And I will send you that personally if you cannot get your hands on the application form for whatever reason. But please apply and let's embark on this journey together.
So amazing. And then just as the last final question, I don't think we said this. When is the deadline to apply?
So we have had the deadline sort of rescheduled on the 27th of February, but get in as early as you can. However, if you think that you've missed the deadline, don't be too afraid because we will be a bit flexible by some days. So don't worry. Get in as early as you can, though.
Basically, if you're listening, just apply. Apply right as you're
Just
listening now.
apply,
Just start filling
apply
out the
as you're
form.
listening.
2 minutes
Yeah,
as you're
yeah,
listening, just fill out the form. So good.
absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Kinjal, for your time, for joining me back on the podcast. And to any of the girls listening, please go apply for Mission ShakthiSAT. This is an amazing opportunity. You get to speak worldwide with other girls, like-minded girls. How often do you get to meet other girls like you? So definitely apply for that. And then, of course, you get the mentorship. You get to meet Kinjal. You get to meet everybody else on the team. And then if you win the video competition, you get to go all the way to India to meet some people, some amazing industry leaders, and then also look at the Indian Space Organization there. So
and actually work and build the payload and yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
hands-on experience. When else will you get to try this? I can't say it enough. This is an amazing opportunity. So if you're already thinking about it, just go and apply. We're looking for every girl to get in there, apply, put yourself forward. Okay, I'm done now. Just get yourself out there and just apply. So thank you
Uh,
again, Kinjal, for joining me.